authentic. It's about being okay with the good, bad, and ugly. To accept those things about ourselves that we can't change, and those things that need to be changed, we put on our big girl panties and do the work. Be True to You is about being real with God, being real with self, so we can be true to you. Be True to You is not about competing with one another. We're about complimenting one another. Hey, what's up, world? It's me, your girl, Angela. Welcome to the Be True to You Talk Show. You know what to do. Go ahead and like, share, and make sure you comment in the middle of the show. Remember, sharing is caring, and we don't want you not to care. Y'all! I got something for y'all. Y'all already know. I hope you're super excited. Yes, it's the Charlie's Angel. It's the sister. So shout out to my sisters. Go ahead and clap it up for Mary Lewis. Woohoo! Sheila O'Brien. Woohoo! Angela Warren. Woohoo! I'm shouting y'all, and I didn't call them their name as far as their title, as far as pastor and apostle or pastor, because we're here talking to you as sisters, okay? Sisters, and sisters are so important. And you may not have a sister, you may have a best friend that's like a sister, or you may have a sister. And the reason why we're here, because a lot of people like to see us together, and they like to see how we maintain our relationship. Let me tell y'all something now. It's not always to the point where we want to eat each other up, but it's sometimes when we do want to eat each other up. And when I mean eat each other up, it's like we can't get enough of each other. But when something and someone is important to you, you push past some negative words, you push back some bad feelings, you push past some unsureness. And when I say that, not known, things that's not known, you just push past those emotions that will cause you to want to throw in the towel. Because so many people, y'all want to throw in the towel. And my sister over there in the corner, not the one in the middle, over there, she always give me a word that make me snatch back and forth my stupor or my negativeness. And she used to tell me that when it came down to Christ, and I'd be like, oh, they don't, I don't do this. She'd be like, Angela, you got to see the Jesus in them and not the people. And so something happened a couple months ago, and I was feeling some kind of way about a sibling. And so she was saying to me, you know, we all say something negative about each other, but it don't mean we don't love them. And so with that being said, let me bring in my sister, Pastor Mary Lewis. And I got to call her Pastor because it's a habit. But anyway, she's the oldest, so, you know, she go first. So, hi, Mary.
Hello, world.
Introduce yourself to the people. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Mary Lewis.
Who are you to me?
I'm her big sister, her older sister, her first sister.
And over there is...
Hi, guys. I'm Sheila O'Brien.
And you are?
I'm the fourth child, the second daughter.
Yeah, the second.
Her oldest sister, but she likes to think that she's older than everybody.
We're not going to go there this time because every time y'all sit down, that's what y'all be wanting to share with the people. But the people don't need to hear all that all the time.
She says it all the time, doesn't she?
She says it all the time.
She says it all the time.
Well, yeah, I just told your mama today that I was her mama. I was like, you know, I'm your mama. Yeah. And so we set this off because I find that, I think we had this conversation before where people be like, oh, we don't need family. Blood is not as thick anymore. And you can find, and I get it because, again, we're not talking about every scenario. We don't know everyone in the world, but I do know that family is important. Mm-hmm. And I think people try to make family not be important because they love to say, Abraham had to leave his family. So they like to use that as excuses for you don't necessarily need your family. But I beg to differ because he even took Lot with him because he wanted some family members around. And sometimes you can't have family members around, be it toxic relationship, be it some form of jealousy. But I do feel like you still should fight to have that relationship stay connected.
Absolutely.
It's important. And I believe there's a time in a season that you do have to take a step back. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. And I believe that's why people will use the Lot and the Abraham. There's a season in your life you may have to take a step back. And you may have to take a step back to regroup yourself. Mm-hmm. you have to take a step back and look in within. Like, is I'm the problem? Is it me? You know, or to see a bigger picture. Sometimes you're too close to it not to see it. And so in that season, you take a step back. Never ever walk away from your family. I believe that's, unless it is extremely toxic and it's detrimental to you, both physical and spiritually, then I'll say you separate yourself. But family, I believe that's something you should forever fight for.
I agree. And it's important. And when you're taking a step back, I don't think that it's like you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm just done with you for
Exactly.
good. I think that there are, y'all know I'm big on breathing, both physically, psychologically, and spiritually. And I think that there is a time when you have to breathe. And sometimes people, family included, whether it's your children, whether it's your spouse or whatever, they can suffocate you. And if you're not careful, you will find yourself being suffocated by whatever it is that's going on. And taking a step back does not necessarily mean that I'm done with you. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. It's just saying, look, I got to breathe a moment. And sometimes breathing cannot be done with anybody else but yourself. And when you take that breath and you kind of analyze and look back and say, hey, this, and that. Now, what are we going to do to change this so that we don't find ourselves in that situation again? That's what true family members, true siblings, spouses, or whatever, that's what we should be doing. But are we doing that?
Yeah.
And another thing, you have to allow yourself. Sometimes we don't even allow ourselves to breathe.
We don't.
To inhale and exhale. And before we know it, that situation, it takes over you, you know. And you didn't mean for it to go that far. Like, I didn't mean to say that. But if you take that moment and say, hey, I just need to pull back. I need to pull away. And I need, sometimes, 9 times out of 10, we need to find ourselves. What part of this do I fit in at? Now, listen, Mary, because I tend to talk too much. And so I'm in this season of my life, I got to close a mouth. Whether I have opinion about it or not, but I got to close my mouth. And it has worked for me. It has helped me. It has kept me.
Yeah. How old are you, Pastor Mary? You mind me asking?
I'm 60 years young.
And Pastor Apostle?
58.
And I'm 56. And I say that because we're 2 years apart, right? And although we have the same mother, we have the same father, in our household, we have different stories, right? I used to think, how do people be raised in the same house and they think so different, right?
I can tell you.
Go ahead, tell me.
Because you got
I have 5 kids. I have 5 kids, and this discussion come up in our house almost every single day. Every day, because you know there's an age gap somewhere in there, and some tend to stay home, and when other tend to run away from home. And so where you think we all came under one roof, that we all should have the same personality, it doesn't work like that. Life don't work like that. And so you have to deal, and this is how I tell people all the time. They say, how do you do it? Each one of them had their own personality. And I'm quite sure Mom and Daddy couldn't deal with us the same, because we all had our own personality. I was the one that they had to put their foot on my neck, because I would have tried to take over, you know? And so that's how you deal with it. You deal with them according, that's your personality, let me deal with you. And I might not have to deal with you in a harsh way. You know, we say it all the time. Angie was the baby. We feel like she got away with murder. She don't seem to think so, but do you agree? She got away with murder. When we was coming, not this one, she didn't, but when I was coming up, my mama put her foot on my neck. Not literally put her foot on my neck, but she knows she had.
I'm just saying. I was thinking it. I'm sitting over here trying to figure out when was there a time when we started foot on the neck, because it probably happened. You was traumatized, so you don't remember.
Listen, that lady put it to me. But can I tell y'all, I have lived long enough to know that she wasn't wrong.
Of course.
Yeah.
She not one time that my mom had to take it to me, it wasn't because I didn't need it. I ain't gonna say I deserve it. Who want to say they deserve to get their butt whooped?
It's okay.
But I needed it, and it helped me. And so that's how you deal with that.
I wanted to say this when you brought up Mom, you know, because I also think sometimes the reason why we get different, not so much as personality, because our personality is who we are, but we get different experiences in the house, is that we get different parts of our parents, right? my mother was older when she had me, and not that old, but she was older than when she had you guys. So now I'm thinking she's learning more, right?
And that's true.
And
That's
so
very true.
now the next one gets a different form of her. They get, in a sense, maybe a better her, or you may be come along when she's going through a lot of stress in her life. So you're getting that part of her, and so in that we have to give each other grace as far as our parents as well as ourselves. And I just think that when we start looking at those things, we'll be able to understand each other better. I do
And that goes so too with the siblings, where you and O'Brien had more time with each other because y'all right there at that age,
and we shared rooms together.
and y'all shared rooms. I came up with the boys, you know, and different season of my life. One of them was my best friend. You know, because I came up with them. So all that makes a difference. And so you have to apply all of that, you know, and then keep an open-minded, you know, that this is my sister. This is my brother. If I'm going to fight for anything, I'm going to fight what's blood to me. That mere, you know, means so much, that dear to my heart. You know, I'm going to fight. It's just like a marriage. Every day your marriage ain't peaches and cream, but don't every day you fight for it. Don't every day you say to yourself, this is worth fighting for. And I'm not going to let this go. I believe as people, we give up too darn easy. We so quick to throw in the towel because we think that's what's right.
You got something to say about that?
I was just thinking about what you were saying about mom, dealing with each one of her children differently. And as you were saying, and I'm thinking to myself, I think she was, 18, 19 when she had her first child. So mom was growing up with her children, right? She was maturing and evolving with each child that she had. And we were literally right behind each other. None of us are really exactly 2 years apart. As a matter of fact, two of them, I think, are like 11 months or something like that.
No, me and Adolph is on a year apart.
A year apart. So
a year apart.
we were about a year and a half, year, 10 months, somewhere like that. So we, even though our ages were, like she was saying, looks like for 2 years, we're not really. So mama was like really having babies back to back to back. And so, but our daddy was there, y'all. So
every step
with all of us, you know. And so,
and they was married.
And check this out. They had to grow up together.
Exactly.
Can you imagine?
Exactly.
Because they got married at 18.
Exactly.
Funny story, but I'm not going to share it. But they got married
through thick and thin. Through thick and thin.
That's the way she said.
You say what you want to say, but through
story,
thick
but I'm
and
not gonna share
thin.
Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Y'all, we got to pay some bills, so hold on. We'll be right back. Okay, you said funny story, but you weren't going to share it. So go ahead. What was you going to say about? Don't share the story, but what else was you going to talk to us about at that time?
No, I'm not going to share the story, but I was just talking
Yeah,
about.
because you share that story.
You're going to get your tail beat.
Yeah, you'll be out the family.
I may have lost my vacation home. I was just saying how mom grew up with her kids, you know, because she had us, you know, she started so young, and I think she was, 24, 26?
25.
She was 26 when she had me.
Yeah.
26 when she had you. So mom was done with her 5 kids at 26 years old. So, you know, she matured with each child, I believe, that she had. And I don't think that, even though, you know, mom had us in her 60s, I honestly don't think that it's any different now, because I believe that parents are still growing up with their children. And that's not a bad thing, you know, because it kind of helps you to see them differently. And for sure, all 5 of my mom, 2 boys first and 3 girls, each one of us have our own distinct personalities. And thank God for a mom. Maybe, you know, growing up, we didn't see it, right? But thank God for a mom, especially, that recognized our differences, our personalities, and knew how to feed us. And when I mean feed, she knew how to nurture us in those in those different personalities. Yeah, we may not like the way some things was done, because our mom was really, really, really old school. And so that's how we grew up. We didn't know any different. We didn't know what it was like to have friends besides the little friends we met at school outside of our norm, because they would always tell us that y'all five are all the friends you need. And so that helped us to grow up being close. But then I often wonder, did it stifle us too at
I
the
was just
same
going to
time?
ask the question, do you think that's one reason why it is so hard for us to have friends or allow people in our circle? And not that our relationship are perfect, right? Because we have moments where
Of
we're
course.
not as close. But do you feel like okay, for you, for real though, for you, this is really for you though. You don't like friends in our circle. You don't like friends in our circle.
I think she's gotten better. She used to be really bad, but she's gotten better.
I don't know.
You know what? I believe I'm like that because people don't deal with the truth. And I think I have a problem with that. People don't deal with the truth. And they can say, "Oh, I love you. That's my friend." Am I really your friend?
Mm-hmm.
When the rubber hit the road, am I really your friend? And so I believe I have always had a problem with that, because I'm your friend in your face, but truly I'm your friend behind your back. And so I don't know.
Well,
I'm like that. Can I say? But
I'm not talking about you having friendship. I'm talking about you sharing your friends or
In our
sharing
circle.
our friends in our circle is what I'm talking about.
what you mean? Sharing y'all with friends?
Yeah.
That make y'all friends? Now you don't want me to say certain stuff on this camera. Those not y'all friends.
Who are
Those y'all people that y'all associate yourself with. Those are people that you can intertwine with a little bit, but you better not let that rope get too tight. Then you'll find out that is not your friend.
Okay. And you don't want to be our friend.
No, and I don't want to be at my age going to jail.
So she hasn't changed.
She haven't changed. You haven't changed.
Like that's and there's good. No disrespect to nobody, whoever y'all call friend. I love them. Because you call them friend, I'm going to
we
love
don't
them.
have a whole lot of friends.
Yeah, but
I used to try to have friends. Now I realize
I
in
don't
my
bother.
older age that and I'm gonna say that I want it and I welcome it, but I don't need it. There's a time when I felt
and
like
there's a
I
big
needed
difference.
it.
Yeah.
And
I'm so glad that you grew out of that. That you was big on having friends.
Yeah.
I was complete with just y'all. I was complete with having 5 children. Like y'all is enough. Like if I had friends on top of y'all and 5 children, man, lock me up.
Let me say this too. I think that lately, you guys know this, that for some reason, I do know, I shouldn't say for some reason, the Lord has been having me on this thing about community. Community has become such a major thing with me because it has to be right now in this day and age with some of the things that we're dealing with. And so people that is a part of your community per se, there has to be some type of closeness where you can trust them no matter what. And so you're going to need people in your life, right? That is going to be a part of that community that you can go to, that you can trust, and that they can come to you. Because there is going to come a time when I may need to go to your kitchen. You may need to come to my kitchen. I may need to borrow some money from you. You may need to borrow some money from me. And we don't have time to be trying to put you through the trust test. We need to know without a shadow of a doubt that you can be trusted. I can trust you, you can trust me. And so now it's the time for us to build community. It's a time for us to build sisterhood, brotherhood. It's a time for us to build camaraderie. And there are some people outside of my circle, outside of my sisters, my brothers, my husband, my brother in love, and now our new sister in love, that I believe that I have some people that are in the kingdom that I could really, really trust, and it's not a lot of them. It's a few of them that I can probably count on one hand, probably just a few fingers. But there are some people in the kingdom that we have to be able to trust because of everything that we are going through right now, right? And the things that we are getting ready to go through. So I think it's important. The Bible tells us that a friend sticks closer than a brother. This is a time where the rubber has got to meet the road.
Yeah. And thinking about that, I do believe everybody needs somebody, and I believe that you should have some form of extended family because it's just so necessary. But what I wanted to focus on as far as the relationship between sisters, siblings, Mary, you said something earlier. You said that there's been time when your brothers, everyone has been your best friend at that moment. My best friend started out with Apostle Sheila. Then my best friend moved to Adolph. Then my best friend moved to you. Then my best friend lately in my later days moved with my brother Milton. And I think I went through something with my brother Milton because that relationship had got so close, it almost broke me. It broke me that I felt like it was going to be no return. And I say that to say that people feel like, oh, they never go anything. We do go through things. We just choose to not let that thing choke us. And I wanted to say that when you have a relationship with God, I mean, like truly have a relationship with God, God dealt with you first before he dealt with anyone else. And so he's never going to judge me on how somebody treated me. He's never going to judge me on what someone said about me. He's going to judge me on how I responded to what was said and done to me. And so by me seeking him and by those words that O'Brien had told me, like, and you think about it. I don't talk about Mary before. I don't talk about Sheila before. I don't talk about Woody before. I don't talk about Clyde before. We do that. But do that mean that I don't love you? Absolutely not. And it is just so funny that we can say things, but you better not say it.
Exactly.
I mean, like, you better not say it.
Exactly.
And so people may feel like someone who thinks they're in our circle or know a little more about us, but they may feel like, but yeah, they just was at each other's throat, and it never did stop me from loving you.
And the thing is, you don't have the right. You have not earned that right. To come against my sisters and brothers. You don't, point blank, period. You don't have that right. My kids would tell you, oh, them her sisters, them her brother. Like, we're gonna walk a fine line. And this is why I said that about friends. And don't get me wrong, because I know I have some friends out there, and I do truly have some good friends. But there's a thin line. There's a very thin line. If we get mad at each other, feel like we have to say something to each other, we're gonna call each other with some form of respect. No disrespect, but I need to say that. But when I don't know. I know I have put up such a fence with my feelings about my sisters and brothers that I don't never want to cross that. I never want to cross that. I never want to be in a place that I got to rekindle this thing or mend this thing back together, because it's just like putting a broken vase together.
Or not be able to do it at all.
Exactly.
Like it's not only broken, it's destroyed.
Yes, it's damaged. It's damaged. And that's just like a nerve's being damaged. I don't care how you try to put that thing, it never comes back the same. And so this is why when it comes to that, we got to be ever so cautious and so mindful, because that's what the enemy wants us at. And this is how we lose a community that we're trying to build together. It's too many shadow pieces.
That's why you got to be ever so careful about who's in your ear. Because some people, when they don't have the relationship or when they don't have the sisterhood, they would love to break it. They would love to get in with negative words, and you have to be ever so careful who's speaking to you.
Or say, oh, I told y'all that went that close. And we always say we ain't perfect.
But you know what? But it'll be hard for somebody to do that, because child. No, I'm saying it'll be hard for somebody to come in and do that with us, because we three already know how we are. Listen. They better try that with somebody else.
And since we know who we are, when you see me, I'm gonna start with you. I know you're the oldest, and I'm gonna call you Sheila. I can't call you your pet name, but
don't do that.
So when you see me, Sheila, knowing that I'm the baby, knowing that I got a different version of mother, how would you describe me?
And I know you don't like this strong black woman thing, but there is strength in you. There has, listen, with things that we've gone through, all of us, and maybe we'll talk about this, maybe this has to be a part 2, but all three of us have had our own mountain to climb, and it was not an easy climb in 2024, right? Health issues here. You had health issues on top of other issues, so you can't negate the fact that you didn't go through something in your body, because you was going through something in your body while you was going through something in your life, right? And so all of that, you have to be resilient. You have to have strength from that. You cannot be a weak person to go through what you went through. And like I said, I know you don't like that strong black woman thing, but that's exactly who you are. I think the connotation behind what it represents is what you don't like. The fact that you think that I'm so strong that I cannot be weak. That's not what I'm saying, because all of us have weaknesses, and weaknesses are important, because if we don't see our weaknesses, then we're not able to see our strengths. And that's what I said about you. You're resilient, and you have this way about you that when you want something, no matter what, you're going to go after it. A lot of people don't have that, and I've always admired that about you. And you have style, but what people don't know is that she got
All right, you can let that go, okay? Because that's been years ago. Now, the table has turned.
Yeah, she revamped your
The table has turned. You can let that go.
She revamped your side about 1,000 times.
Let it go, okay? Okay, and so when you look at your older sister, Mary, how do you see her?
You know what? The same thing. I have to go back to that, because again, going back to the fact that, I would you say 24 was your toughest year physically, or the year before? I think 23.
That's when you didn't want to go to sleep. 22, 23.
Yeah, 22, 23
was your toughest year. Yeah. But even in that, 2024 still, it took its toll on all of us. You know what I'm saying? And then we lost an uncle in between that. We had a couple deaths, hard deaths, right?
Yeah.
And so it has not been easy.
Four,
so,
as a matter of fact. Yeah.
4 in the last couple of years.
Last 4 years.
Close deaths, yeah. So I would say the same thing about her, the resilience, the strength that she embodies to be able to do what she's doing, and to still, be able to kind of carry on, and not being able to work a job that she loved, that has not been easy for her. She loved working for the school board. She loved those kids. She loved, the faculty that she worked with. And so, being able to come back from all that, and look at her now. She's sitting here looking beautiful. That is not an easy thing to do, And so, I would definitely say that. And I admire that in her, looking at her strengths every day. And then, it breaks our heart. I want to say that because of our friendship with each other. It's not just a sisterhood, it's a friendship. And so it breaks our heart when, we turn around and we get a bad report of what somebody has said. And then, being able to pull on the fact that she has such a strong faith in God and believing that no matter what, not that he is going to, but he has already healed her, right? And so now we just got to walk that thing out. That's with all of us. We still going through it in our body and having to walk that thing out. You know what I mean?
And so, Mary, how do you see Sheila?
Everything she just said about us. That woman that can endure. Through the test of time, you have endured, and just like you said, we have all went through something, but you still showing up, no matter what. And I can say that about you. It's like this thing go hand in hand. It's almost like we're triplets in what we're going through in life, and we have showed up, no matter what. You have pushed past, and let me just bring this together. The both of you has pushed past every circumstance and situation that you had to go through, and when you thought that there was no more fight in you, everything that you went through, you gained that much fight. Your mountain of faith has exuded, and like I never seen it before. To see you walk this thing, to be so like it's not gonna break me. It's gonna make me. And when I say physical, you both have went through something that the average person would have thrown in the towel, would have said, hey, I'm out of this, I'm done with this. But you still showing up, you're still fighting, you're still pushing past goal. I know personal things, so when I look at you, how can I not stand up? As a big sister, how can I not, like if my little sisters can do it, what you're going through, right now in your physical body, yet you're still here, yet you're still doing it, yet you're still walking this faith walk like never before, and you have encouraged all of us not to give up and throw in the towel, because that's the easy route.
Of course.
You could have like, and nobody would expect you not to, and I know people probably was saying, with Daryl, she keep coming back. She keep bouncing back. How the heck they do that? I almost say, how the hell?
It's okay.
How they keep doing that? How they keep bouncing back? And so that's what make us that strong woman that we are, that you are, that you keep coming back. You're not letting your circumstance and your situation dictate your life. I don't care if you smell the dust. You said, got right back up and conquer that thing like nobody business. Yeah. Nobody would never know that you have been through the hell that you've been through, because you don't look like it.
Yeah.
You don't talk like it. You don't walk like it. And you definitely don't live like it. You could say, well, I lost everything. Where? Where did you lose it? It doesn't show. You don't talk like it. You don't walk like it. You don't live like it. And that's what's so important. Every time you showed up looking like victory.
Girl, you showed up looking like victory, honey. You showed up looking like victory too, sis. Well, I already, feel like, that we're all different. Some of our personality extremely strong. You would tend to think that my personality is stronger than yours. I don't know where you got that from. I think that you have the strongest, most form of aggressiveness in the family. Well, but it's my turn, Mary. It's my turn.
I ain't gonna doubt that.
But at the same time, you are too. You're one to push past. You're one to you show up. You show up in life, and I love that about you. I love that in spite of you're faithful to those things that God had called you to, that you could easily throw in the towel. And so that is an example as far as how to show up. Because the only way, what's that, confession, I was supposed to do like this declaring and decreeing for a month, but I did it for a day and I wanted to quit. And I was like, well, if my sister can do this every day for 10 years, surely I could do it for a week. I didn't say a month. I did it for a week. And so I got that from you, your example of showing up in faith in spite of. And so I do see you as a person that shows up. Apostle O'Brien, Sheila, I see you as a person that has so much grace, right? You show up to me with grace. You show up in so much eloquency. And so I gained that from you. I gained as far as not trying to be you, because I got over that, with those words, behoove me and in awe. Yeah, you can have all them words. I speak abundance and I'm okay with that. But, I love that of you, and I love that you're such a giver, right? And not saying that you give to everything and everyone. I'm just saying you're such a giver to those that are around you, those that you love. You're such a giver. To see how you give to your family, your husband, your child. You don't put yourself first. A lot of time I fuss at you about, don't forget yourself. Don't forget you. You're such a giver. And I'm learning to appreciate that giving in you and not be like, but, I have learned that is a gift that God has given you. And so, just keep doing that. And I think we're all different for a reason.
We are.
I think we're all different for a reason. I think our difference is the glue that keep us together.
And that's what makes us who we are. And we learn how to appreciate each other because we are different. We learn how to appreciate the different in each other. And it makes a difference in our lives. And so that when we come to the table, we can come to the table with something that you said, and I can pull a little here, a little from over here. And that's who we are, and we can't change it. If I had to do it all over again, even in this moment in my life, I wouldn't change it.
Can you imagine if we were all the same cookie cutters?
Child, please, y'all want to be able to take it. The world would be in trouble.
Especially not you. Three of you, Mary. Absolutely not.
So you think that her personality is more stronger than Adolph's?
No.
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 And I feel so
They
brother.
neck to neck. They neck to
Yeah,
neck.
but he got
You know what? I take that back.
I
I'm
do
gonna
it
say
a little
Mary
grace.
got. Yeah, I'm gonna say because
Yeah.
of Christ in Mary.
Yeah, I do it a
she
little
have a little
grace.
grace.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Adolf,
Yeah.
he will chop your
That's
neck
our
off.
brother, guys.
Mary gonna chop your neck off.
And I'm a
And
bad
she
nature.
gonna pray for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a bad nature.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm
And then,
going.
yeah.
Adolf gonna leave out there.
He gonna leave you right there to dry.
Ready.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and what about your brother Milton? See,
He's,
Milton is Mary's best friend. At
Milton
the
is the oldest.
he's passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Like you really have to get him to that point. But once he get there, he's there.
yeah.
You know. So don't think that he a sleeping dog because he's not.
And don't think O'Brien is.
Oh no, passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive, extremely passive
Yeah,
aggressive.
passive aggressive for sure.
She be like,
So yeah, and at the
Well,
same time,
sometimes
she be like she plotting.
Yeah.
You know, like what you see is what you get over here.
Yeah.
If I say I'm coming at that neck, I'm coming at that neck. You ain't got to think twice about it. But I got a twin sister over here. If she says she coming at that neck, she coming at that neck. That's all to it.
But you know, we get that from that passive aggressive is daddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that
very.
aggressiveness
It's
that's,
my mom.
that's our mom,
Yeah,
like
that's our
all
mom.
the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So we got a
Yeah,
little bit of
yeah.
them
And so-
in all of
Yeah,
us.
and it balance out.
Yeah.
It balance out.
I'm glad y'all said y'all got some mama in y'all.
Oh, yeah, I got-
For years.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
For
I'm
years,
mom.
y'all be like, yeah, you just like your mama.
Yeah,
You
no,
just
no.
like your
Well,
mama.
we all say that because we know we're all guilty.
Yeah,
We,
listen.
listen, Mama 82 years old and we still like her.
I'm Merle. Listen, I used to think you was like mama, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you're a little woo girl. You're like your mama.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We are all like her.
Hold on, y'all. We got to pay some bills. We'll be right back. Okay, we back, honey, because you know we got to pay them bills. We got to pay those bills. So if you are looking to advertise, hit me up. You can inbox me or you can call me at 954-298-0183. Send in your video and we will advertise for what? For a fee. Not for free, but for a fee. Okay? So we're back. So, O'Brien, as I think about your growing up, right? You was really, really quiet growing up. You feel like you was the middle child that you felt like you was overlooked at times. I feel like I got the least of time growing up. I do. I feel like I did. I feel like I got the least time of mama and of, y'all. I feel like y'all used to leave me, go clubbing. See how people see these
You
things?
were younger than we
Yeah.
were too, so.
Yeah.
I don't think we left you. I believe you
Yeah.
left us. You always had a life. Even at a young age, you was always doing stuff.
She was.
Right? How?
You were involved in school, cheerleading.
Cheering. How do we leave you?
doing that?
Yeah, well, I didn't see y'all.
You
at
was
the
busy
game.
having
was.
birthday parties?
Yeah,
We
but-
ain't had no birthday party.
But look at
I
this.
only
too.
had a birthday party, man, when I turned 18. I graduated from college. I should have had a college. Lord, don't I wish. I graduated from high school and college. College. I'm going to college. I
You
think I'm
are,
going to
in
go to college.
Jesus'
Okay.
name.
I graduated from high school and turned 18 on my birthday. That's why I had a party.
That's when you had that beige outfit on?
When me and Tonette was dancing, I doing the brass monkey and I beat her dancing. I danced in Milton house, Milton and Junior house.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had my little M&Ms on.
And so
Yeah.
you got to remember too that you guys are quite a bit older than her. Milton is 7 years older than her, so forth and so on. So she probably did feel like, she was out there all by herself doing. But you
Child,
started,
you was young. Where you was going?
but
I'm not
listen,
still, even
you
like-
started doing your own thing at an early age.
At an early age, you were living- listen.
You were living life.
You
at
were living
14.
life. We was late coming coming out the gate. You was living life like, girl, listen.
You weren't late coming
You
out
weren't
the
late
gate.
coming out of nobody's gate. I was late coming out the gate.
No, I'm talking about, no, this is a private conversation. I'm going to tell y'all again. Woo! Have mercy.
Yeah. I was saying, and I guess I feel like that's when I felt like O'Brien was the only person that I had, you know, because not because she let me use her credit card, but she was the only one that was still home.
But the thing is, me and
Let
Milton, yeah, because she didn't let you. You let you. She didn't.
Why you
but
keep
you
saying
didn't.
that? Really?
But the thing is, during that time, me and Adolph and Milton, we was living a totally different life.
Yeah.
And so we had some things in common, you know. And by that time, the three of us had a child. A child, and so we had some things in common because remember, I gave birth at 19, and Milton.
But had you graduated by the time Ashley was born?
No.
You were a senior.
No, when Mary got pregnant with Ashley, I remember
She was
I was
14
in
or
8th
15.
grade.
Wow.
Because I
Yeah.
came home
Yeah.
from school because I was so upset because I kept saying, my mama and daddy gonna put my sister out. And I was so upset at school. People kept saying, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I say, my sister pregnant. They was like, and, you know, even in those days, in the neighborhood that we grew up, that was the common thing. To me, you 19, but at the same time, my mom and daddy finna put my sister out. That's all I could think about. And so, yeah, I felt like, you know, I was kind of, in a sense, out there. Maybe I was in there trying to make a life, but I felt like, you know, you get to the point where you feel like you don't have a place, even in your own home. And the reason why I brought that up, because I remember you saying that, you know, Adolph was your best friend at one time. Junior was your best friend at one time. And we stated that who we've been best friend with one. But how do you say to someone out there, you know, hey, I'm closer to one, but necessarily I don't mean I don't love you as well.
I think because life and what you're going through at life at that time, you tend to cling on to a person. I remember when you went to Georgia, that strengthened our friendship because now
You had each other.
we had each other. And that not that you don't love the next person, but it's what you're going through in life, and it happened. It happened in friendship with sisters or siblings, should I say? It happened even with your own children. You know,
Yeah, most definitely.
and you don't mean for it to happen, but it happened. And my thing is, we are so blessed, and I can truly say we're blessed that my mom had the five of us. And when we needed to pull a little here, a little there, and I'm not talking about financial, but, you know, the strength or somebody that I can lean on, that I can call, you know, like I may call you if I don't call O'Brien, and you'll say, but Mary, how do you really feel? You know, then I can express, you know, and I
kind of said it with an attitude. I'm like, what's that? What's that about?
because that's how you help me, like, you know, like I'm not telling the truth. Like if I say, well, no, yeah. Well, how do you really feel? Like sometimes I don't even like to tell her about the doctors because she's like, oh my God, Mama, please. What did the doctor say? Did you tell him that? Was it yesterday?
Did you call?
Did you call them? We got the phone with me before you got. Right. Okay. I hear this enough in the house. I need somebody to say, Mary, just relax, breathe.
Are you trying to say that's me?
You are that kind of person. You are good. You are that.
Oh my God.
But that and sometimes see, and that's where that passive and aggressive. Sometimes you need somebody to be.
You need
aggressive.
the balance.
Yeah. And then I know I can come over here and you may stroke me a little bit. This one ain't stroking at all. Period. Like let's hop to it. Let's do this. But what did I tell you? And I've been telling you to do this.
Yeah, I do say that a lot. I've been told y'all to do that. I'm gonna work on that part because don't nobody want nobody to tell them what they don't told them. I'm gonna work on that part. Even in my 56 years of age, I am going to definitely work on that. Y'all, this was good. We definitely will have to come back, but I would not leave without letting each one of you say something to siblings, to family that you feel like can shift their relationship or make them understand how important relationship with family is. Not, you know, if you've been, you know, the A word, you've been the R word, abused and all that. We're not talking about, you let everybody in that's have violated you
Yeah,
or
of course.
caused you major trauma. We're not saying that. But I'm talking about simple arguments that you let years go by that now you don't know how to go back. I'm talking about some kind of disagreement with something that you can't even remember
What it
why
was
you
about,
are
yeah.
disagreeing. So talk to them.
This is what I would say, and you, just like you would say, if it's something minor, not major, that has not caused you trauma, or when you see them, it doesn't trigger something in you. If that's not the case, then rekindle that relationship with that family member, with that cousin, distant cousin, however, because somebody said something and you don't even really have the facts together, but you choose to take a step back or to be angry over the years. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It is not worth it. It is so much to be with your family, be together in your family. You heard Sheila say, in this time that we're in, it's so important that we get it right with our families. Because who to say that we won't all end up in the same household?
Yeah.
And then you
Absolutely.
can't even go in that household because you've been bickering and you don't even know the reason why. It's been so many years. Go again, be mature enough to say I'm sorry, even if you're wrong. Say I'm sorry.
Yeah, be the
For
bigger person.
yes, be the bigger person for peace sake. For peace, say I'm sorry and rekindle that relationship. I'm not saying you got to be that ace coon boom. No, I'm not saying that. But make up.
And even for peace sake, not even so much for them, but for yourself, right? I used to, when I would go through myself and have people do horrible things to me, I would have to tell myself, Sheila, you have to will yourself to forgive. There has to be a desire to forgive, because forgiveness is not just for somebody else. Forgiveness more so is for you, because how are you going to live a whole life, life, without forgiveness, right? And so even if you have that family member, that sibling, that cousin, even that mother or that father, that you've having difficulties with, you guys are having a rough time together, something has happened that you felt like is not forgivable. And there are those things, like you talking about, trauma that, it could be your very life. You don't want to go back to that, right? But even in that, there has to be a place of forgiveness in order for there to be healing. But if it's just those little spats here and there, I told you something in private and you went and told everybody else, that kind of stuff, we got to get rid of
Yes,
those types of
that.
things. You got to do away with that stuff, because it's not doing anything but bringing further apart, and then that rift is causing another rift, because you don't said something to somebody else, and so now it's making them choose sides, right? And so we have to stop doing that, and we lose family by doing that, and then we find ourselves alone, and we don't even know why we are alone. It's because something has been said or something has been done, and no one chooses to say, hey, I'm guilty, forgive me, or vice versa. This is not the time for us to be having sibling rivalry, unforgiveness, envy, or jealousy towards one another. This is a time for us to come together and love, because we're going to need it now more than ever.
You're gonna need it now more than ever. Just fun facts. Vanilla ice cream or chocolate?
And neither, I'm lactose intolerant.
Depending on the day, both will work good with me. But I would tend to float with the chocolate.
Peach cobbler or sweet potato pie?
Sweet potato pie.
I'm not a cobbler person. You already know that at all.
Yeah. Pound cake or cheesecake?
Cheesecake.
Uh, red clothing or black?
Black.
Black.
Louis Vuitton or Gucci?
Both.
Not me. Sorry. I could do without.
Okay. And that is it, you guys. Just a little break of ice. We are so different, but we are so much alike. Pastor, I keep going back there because this is what I call her on the norm. Pastor Mary and I, we love name brands. Sheila, on the other hand, can give a hill of beans about it.
That's true.
We love fragrance. Sheila, on the other hand, is not so crazy about fragrance because of her allergies. But we are different, but we are similar. And so with that being said,
We all love to eat though. Well, not you, not anymore because of your allergies. So we used to. We used to go out a lot, didn't we?
yeah, but we haven't been going out like lately because Pastor Mary can't be out.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, with that being said, we are sisters. We have a lot of things in common. There's some things that we do totally different, but in that we still love each other for who we are. And so with that being said, this is your girl Angela BTrue2U Talk Show, and everything you do, always be true to you. I love you and I mean it. Bye.
Bye.
True to you is not about being perfect. It's about being authentic. It's about being okay with the good, bad, and ugly. To accept those things about ourselves that we can't change, and those things that need to be changed, we put on our big girl panties and do the work. Be true to you is about being real with God, being real with self, so we can be true to you. Be true to you is not about competing with one another. We're about complementing.